This episode of Says Who is brought to you by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/sayswho. That's our Patreon, where pretty much every Sunday you get this all over again in an ever increasingly long bonus episode that we call the Town Watch. You get essentially a whole second episode of Says Who at this point, recorded loosely on a Saturday and released on a Sunday. So sign on up. That's if you give it the $5 or $10 a month level. That $10 a month level also gets you a sticker in the mail every month with the bonus aspect of making me go into an abject panic around the 18th of the month every month because I need to make a sticker.
Yeah.
But you know what? It works because every time it's a fucking banger.
You're very good at stuff.
I am. I'm good at this. There's one thing I'm good at, and it's making you stickers for the Says Who Sticker Club, which you can sign up for at patreon.com/sayswho.
Dan, this week I'm feeling positive about standing up for my own book. No, there was more.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear the rest. I was too busy.
I know. About standing up for my own book.
Okay, great.
Which is, Death at Morning House is an anti-fascist, anti-eugenics, pure classic mystery.
Indeed.
And I think that right now, if you're like, I would like to escape and have a pure classic mystery, but also have it be firmly anti-fascist and anti-eugenics. I didn't plan it this way. I just wanted to talk about it at the time I was writing it because I'm like, we need to talk about all these things that we revere that actually suck.
Indeed.
And maybe they should go. And also will solve crimes. So, Death at Morning House, anti-eugenics, anti-fascist, but also just a straight up whodunit.
And a great time.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a great time. I enjoyed that book immensely.
It has a funny queer disaster romance in it. Like it's, you know.
It's good
drives
stuff.
Around a little car, like a little cartoon apple. I mean, she's trying her best, like the rest of us.
It's a good time, and if you would like to grab that good time on the internet without spending a bad time on the old jungle-themed bookstore, you can always go to kickbezosintheballs.org. That's our own little bookshop where there's just a quick link. You can just click a link and get Maureen's book, or you can type a thing into a search box and get pretty much any book. So kickbezosintheballs.org. If you are buying things on the internet, you can always mosey on over to merch.sayswhopodcast.com where we sell Says Who merchandise, or you could visit my shop at shop.dansinker.com where I sell some patches and some shirts and some stickers. So go on. I don't know. That was it.
Dan?
Maureen.
How are you? Dan? Dan, what is happening to you?
Fine. This is breathing.
I don't know how your forehead got. It's like your heart. It's like you tried to breathe so hard that you're just the top of your head, like you became like a light bulb shape. Dan, focus. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Fine.
Dan, you're not fine. Nobody's fine. But you know what? Welcome to the Not Fine Club. But where everyone's welcome to come in and sit down on a beanbag and be not fine together, which helps make it better. Breathe. Breathe.
Yes.
Breathe. Just fucking breathe. Welcome. Don't rub your eyes.
Made myself dizzy.
I know.
Breathing.
You really did make your top of your head bigger. I don't know how you just put your breath into your forehead, but you did it.
I have one of those like 8 heads, really.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
In a good way, though.
How. Yeah.
It offsets the beard. Like it kind of makes it all.
You're not used to seeing it because usually I have a hat on.
Hat on, yeah.
But it's springtime. so I don't. Anyway, we lost track there.
Yeah.
Welcome.
To Says Who.
There we
podcast
are.
That isn't a podcast.
It's a coping strategy. I am Dan Sinker.
I'm Maureen Johnson.
How are you?
Dan, because we're going to talk a lot about coping today and sitting with discomfort and how we can work through it.
Okay.
At this moment, I'm pretty cheerful. My mood goes wildly up and down these days.
Yeah.
So whenever I have it, I'm like, great. I have right now, and that's great.
All right. Well, that's good.
I acknowledge that my mood goes up and down.
Yeah.
A lot down.
Like a little Ferris wheel.
I think of it more like a real fun little cartoon earthworm that's like he's kind of you know what I mean? He's inching along.
Yeah.
Like an inchworm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
You have to realize that in my head is basically just the Richard Scarry world with like all the little animals that like do
Busy
jobs.
town?
And yeah, it's busy town in there.
Busy town is the best.
It's a good place to retreat to if you just want to relax for a minute.
Yeah, just close your eyes and go to Busy Town.
I am always in Busy Town, Dan.
What's your go-to Busy Town car?
The Apple.
I
know that's
I'm the pickle car.
See, I love a tiny. I've said this many times. I'll say it again. I love a tiny, low-powered vehicle.
Yeah.
If I could have a vehicle, because I don't have one, I would just love. The only cars I really look at with envy are smart cars. They're so teeny.
Yeah.
They are the cartoon apple of cars, and I would love to drive one.
A friend of mine, well, like an internet friend of mine, is in Rome right now, and she just posted a whole series of photos of the micro cars that are all over Rome, which make a smart car look big. They're absolutely minuscule. And then someone else posted a Toyota microcar that they're going to be releasing, I guess, actually releasing into the European market, that is tiny, and the roof is a solar panel, and it will charge the battery up to 20 to 30 kilometers. And so basically you never have to actually charge your vehicle because, because they don't go very far.
Right.
And it's like you never have to do anything. You just drive around and then it's ready to drive around some more. That's pretty great.
I would love to drive one.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people. I have no car feelings. I'm not a person who's ever been like, I want this kind of a car. I always was just like, car ? Seems good. But little tiny cars. I think I live in a city, you know what I mean? The idea of being able to like get uptown. If I have to go really far in town, I will sometimes just walk it, which means like you have to think about like, that will require an hour and a half walk to get there.
Yeah.
Like I'm from 1604. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I must pack ye sack. I would say bike, but I've done biking around New York a couple times. It is terrifying.
Can I show you a picture of my favorite microcar?
Yeah.
Sending you a link to this review of it in The Verge.
All right, I'm going to open it in a new tab.
The Microlino Dolce.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The door is the front of the car.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's amazing, right?
Just one afternoon driving that around. Dan, I think about the times I've even been allowed to drive a golf cart, and I still hold on to them like precious memories.
Yep. When
I was a teenager, my first boyfriend worked at a golf course, like a public golf course.
Yeah.
As a greenskeeper. I didn't know anything about golf, but he's like, it's a public course. It's in Northeast Philly. And he was a greenskeeper, which meant he spent all day, every day, digging ditches.
Yeah.
So he was like getting tan and buff every day, digging ditches.
Yeah.
And then at night, you could go in and they would take the governors off the golf carts and we could ride them around. Okay, I'm going to tell you about something even better.
Oh, okay.
I've not done this. I've heard this one from a friend.
Yeah.
That they have they have friends who live in a property like way out in I think it's in like Oregon or Washington. It's like
Okay.
way out. And they have 2 old golf carts on the property.
Yeah.
And they play a version of like sort of like extreme team hide and seek where you go out like into the night. Like one team goes out and I think they have to wear a little glowing wristband or something. And then after like 5 minutes or something, the other team rolls out on the golf carts.
That sounds amazing.
To find them.
I thought you were going to say they do like golf cart jousting.
No, it's my favorite game of all, which is team hide and seek, where you get to the base and then your team members come and get you.
Oh, yeah.
Like capture, I guess it's like capture the. We played it something else.
Yeah.
I forget what we called it, but like your team had to come and rescue you. So
let me tell you, the little one,
mm-hmm.
who really isn't that little, but they play tag pretty much every day at recess. Mm-hmm. And they also play tag, I would say, at least 3 times a week in gym class. Mm-hmm. And the level of like complexity of tag that these folks have sort of evolved into is remarkable. So as you were describing that, I was like running through the index in my head of the various tag variants that have been talked about over the years.
You know what I loved about that game is not only I like the hide and I like the fact that if you were stuck,
yeah,
people like your classmates or like people would run to get you.
Yeah.
We were or you could be the person that came and got the others.
Oh, okay.
And it was so like, because they were on they were stuck on the thing.
Yeah.
We called it the jail. Like you got, and then you had to touch it and then they would all be freed. And I like that we all work together.
Yeah.
And I feel like it does work for these times. I want to tell you about my Saturday.
I would love to hear about your Saturday.
Was it Saturday or Sunday?
It's hard to know anymore.
I think maybe it was Sunday. So we have a kind of daily meeting here where we discuss everything.
Yeah.
Like it's weird that now an entire section of the day is devoted to basically resistance activity, or you know what I mean? Like other stuff. But I was really down. Like there's a lot of this is like a lot of people, I've been genuinely like crushed.
Yeah.
And I think there's so many aspects to it. But when I really drill into it, it's the rage and the sadness that people accept this level of cruelty.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't want to think that there were this many people that were this cruel.
Yeah.
Or submitted to this kind of cruelty. But then I remember there are many, many more people who do not.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to get out of the house. I need to like write this book. So I took my notebooks and I had everything, just my notebooks and my pen, Dan.
Yep.
And I sat down in this cool place called Book Bar. It's like a cool little cozy bookstore that sort of looks like an old library or like a gentleman's club or something. It's like the big chairs, whatever. It has a long bar, old-fashioned bar. Okay. So you can get cocktails and you can just sit and read.
Nice.
And I sat down with my notebooks at one of the little cool little tables in the back. Mm-hmm. And I ended up sitting next to a group of people who were associated with Columbia, who were talking about how they knew somebody connected to the ICE arrest of the guy with the green card and how this person was like in hiding. And I was like, there is literally no escape. Like you literally sit down and it's, somebody next to you is like, now she's in hiding. And it's like, wow. And then they got up and left. And then the next group of people sat down and started discussing a book that I just despise. Like, I'm not saying what it is because everybody should read what they want, but I was like, yuck. But they were like, this book is so good. It isn't so. And I was like, oh, God. Oh! So then I had booked myself. I haven't been to an in-person yoga class in years. Like I do yoga with Adrian at home. Like I Pilates out, but I guess because of COVID, I'd stopped kind of going out to classes and doing them in. And I was like, what I need to do is take this out on the mat.
Yeah, take it out on the mat.
And there are still places in New York that are like cool, grungy. Like this one's on St. Mark's. You drop in, the class is $12 and you're in like a big, cool brick room with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And this class was not joking, even though it was the basics. They were not fucking around. And within 15 minutes, I am sweatier than maybe I have ever been. Like I look down and the whole mat's sweaty.
Okay.
And we're all like, just like, it's when you look down and you're just dripping. You're like, oh boy, this is really something.
Yeah.
And every time I kind of did a twist or something that seemed hard, I tried to imagine that all the little muscles and stuff were containing little demon energy. And I was like squeezing it out.
Mm-hmm.
Pop, 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 all your little demons of this and that. And if I go, you're out. I squeeze you out. I squeeze you out. I squeeze you out. I squeeze you out. And that felt really good. I came home on a little, so it was good. It was a good day. It started bad and it ended good.
Oh, well, that's good.
But I basically had to wring myself like out. Just
sometimes you just got to. Sometimes you got to wring yourself out.
Yeah.
Well, that's
How have
good.
You been?
I mean, really, how has anyone been?
It's okay to be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I've been terrible, right? Like, it's just a lot, you know? It's a lot to live through. I wrote about this on Sunday. Like, it's just a lot to deal with and to also have to do the shit that you have to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody that has a lot of different things that he has to do, right? Like, keeping all of those plates spinning is a very delicate balance. And all this shit is just like a real plate spin debalancer. So just keeping focused on that shit is hard, I would say. Janice and I went on an amazing walk on Friday. We will get to this in a moment, but it was after the vote. We'll talk about the vote in a minute. And we were both just sort of like uselessly raging. And then it was like, let's go outside. It was 75 degrees in Chicago in March, which is like just one of the greatest gifts in the world when it's like that. And we just like, and the little one was at a friend's house for like the whole day or the whole after school time. And so we just went on like a 2.5 hour long walk. And that was the best thing that I had done for myself in a very long time. Just getting out. It was warm. Yeah. It was sunny. It was good. Helped immensely.
I'll be getting out a couple times this week. Then tonight, I'm going to be seeing John Green uptown.
I've heard of that guy.
Yep. My friend John has written a new book called Everything is Tuberculosis, which comes out today, and I'm going to be going uptown. So it does mean that we're going to be sitting there hearing him talk about tuberculosis.
Fun. Good times.
So there's that. And tomorrow night, if you're in New York, come join us. There is a meeting of essentially the New York School Board, in District 2, which has been partially kind of taken over by Moms for Liberty, which
fun.
So in order to, and they're trying to pass a resolution to basically take trans kids out of sports. So I'm going to go up. I have posted the thing on my Blue Sky that says like when and where it's at. But about a bunch of people show up just to support.
This is upstate?
No, this is in New York City.
Oh, okay.
This is in New York City. I think the meeting is on like East 66th Street or something like that. It's the school that it's at. Oh no, Moms for Liberty is here in Manhattan as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they've taken over the full New York City school board, or this is like a regional thing? How do your school board situations work there?
So our school boards are actually called, what are they called? They're called like
local school council stuff?
They have a name, like something council. I should know. It's the CEC, the Community Education Council. And they're also districts. So this is New York City DOE District 2. So Manhattan and New York City is all divided up into districts. So this one is District 2.
Okay, so this is like a regional council.
Yeah, this is a section of New York City, and it's not the whole school board, but a bigger than like it's something like 45% or something.
Yeah.
Are now represented. They have a hardcore Moms for Liberty couple people in there.
Wow.
Yeah, those fuckers get everywhere.
Yeah, they do. They do, and they capitalize on the fact that most people don't pay attention to school board elections and things, so they can.
Man, I'm deep
they
in
can
the paying
wriggle in.
attention to school boards. I'm doing the New York School Board Project, which is the project I've taken on for, and it is Byzantine.
Yeah, that's a very.
It's the job, Dan. Like for Authors Against Book Bans, we need to look into school boards. So
Yeah. That's
it's
a difficult.
a lot.
It's a very difficult data problem for sure.
Yeah.
Extremely so.
Well, I like to, so yeah, there's this week is, tuberculosis tonight, trans kids' rights tomorrow night.
Boom. Taking care of business.
My mom, who I cannot explain to you how uptight my mom is. Like as a kid, I wanted to go to a teen dance club, a teenage dance club that all of my friends went to, the whole school.
Yeah. What was it called?
Electric something. Electric. I forget. It was electric something. Everybody went.
Yeah.
Whole high school. Instead of letting me go, my mother called the local police and asked them if they thought it was going to be appropriate for me to go.
Perfect.
Great. I was 1 year younger than I went to school early, so I was 1 year younger.
Yeah.
Which meant that I was probably 14 or 15 when I was asking to go.
Yeah.
It was a high school dance club.
Yeah.
I just want to really make that clear.
Yeah.
For teenagers.
In like suburban Philadelphia.
No, it was inside Northeast Philadelphia because I went to school in Northeast Philadelphia.
Okay.
And the speech, according to my mom, that the police gave her was this, because she has recited it and will recite it on command, not without irony. Ma'am, I wish more parents would call us and ask us about that, questions like this. That club is more, like 16 and 17-year-olds or so. And anyway, TLDR, I was not allowed to go. Yeah. I'm still mad. It was that stupid. So anyway, my mom, just ridiculous. Like somebody gave me a denim skirt and like, I'm not even, and it was like,
that's crazy.
I had to hide like my short skirts.
Yeah.
So I would pretend to go out if I was allowed out at all, in like pants, and I would have the skirt on underneath, and then I would remove the pants in the car.
Why didn't you have a longer skirt with the shorter skirt underneath? That seems a lot easier.
No, it really wasn't. Like
Okay.
I didn't have any skirts that would have really fit the brief to cover it up. But she's strong-willed, and she is so on fire about this. She wears an anti-fascist pin.
Yeah.
And a abortion rights pin.
Yep.
She attended her first protest. She is also the same woman that when I was in Philly before the election, grabbed the Harris sign and charged the Trump people single-handedly. And then was he screaming over her child, Maureen, watch my purse. And I was like trying to cover her back and sort of explain to her as she charged that one does not simply alone charge into the crowd without a plan. I say this as a person who in college with another person, after I had attempted to jump the rope when the Klan was marching, threw ice balls at some Nazi skinheads. And when I hit them and they turned around to chase us, I too had no plan except to run. So she made a sign and went with her friends to protest Brian Fitzpatrick, who was a local PA rep. And she kind of knows him. She certainly knew his brother, and she is so disgusted with him for supporting this. But I just want to say that he's out, while he never, ever, ever does town halls, he is trying to do the good work by currently trying to have St. Patrick's Day made a holiday.
I mean, you've got to. Come on.
So he doesn't
Sure.
talk, he doesn't have town halls, and he won't kind of meet with people, but God damn it, he's going to have St. Patrick's Day made a holiday. And St. Patrick's Day is basically the SantaCon of spring.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the worst.
It's not great, though. I will say a new addition to my neighborhood, just down the street, we have one of those giant skeletons. And the giant skeleton was wearing a full giant skeleton-sized St. Patrick's Day outfit when I walked by it the other day,
Yeah, I don't
including
hate
a
it.
giant beer in its hand. And I was like, I don't hate this.
No, I don't hate that.
I don't like it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah. It's one of those.
I once had to go do like a journalism judging thing. I think it was like an audio thing. And I had to take the train, and it was one of those, and it was like a St. Patrick's Day that I think hit on a weekend.
Oh boy.
And oh God, the train smelled so bad and was so full of drunk assholes.
Yeah.
It was horrific.
It's not good.
It's not great.
Yeah, the only good part is the green milkshake. I like a weird colored dessert.
Like a shamrock shake.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had one in a long time. I think maybe 10 years ago I bought one to try it out again as a little treat, and it was terrible. And I was like, this is nice. Goodness, I remember. I remember them as the kid.
I also remember that with the shamrock shake. I had one not that long ago, and I was like, it's not great.
It wasn't great. Like, as a kid,
No.
I was like, this is the pinnacle of civilization.
Yeah.
This is what it's all been leading up to, the shamrock shake. Because I
Yeah.
was a mint ice cream loving kid. Maybe, do you think they've made them worse? Or our memories are just better?
I think that our memories, as well as our taste, is different. I don't think that they've probably changed the overall chemical makeup of the shamrock shake all that much from our youth.
We had at one of those dairies that has a restaurant and sells their own ice cream near our house.
Yeah.
So it had like a diner. So you could go there for a burger and like stuff, and like an old fashioned diner, and then straight up just all of their homemade ice creams.
Yeah.
And I was a 100% all in mint chocolate chip kid.
Okay.
My bar is always theirs. Like that ice cream.
Yeah.
It was a green one.
Okay.
With green, not a white. And now I just want some mint chocolate. I'll take a Breyers also any day of the week.
I'm gonna try to steer this conversation back to the story that you were originally telling.
Breyers ice cream, don't sleep on it. It is delicious.
Yeah, Breyers.
It's good.
This is all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I like
But
the
that wasn't the
pistachio ice
story.
cream.
You were
I like
talking about your
green ice
guy.
creams.
The rep
Who wants to make St. Patrick's
holding
Day
a town
national.
hall.
Yeah, the
wants to
Republican
make-
shitbag.
Yeah. There we
And everyone's
go.
like, come out and have a
We're
town
back.
hall, you shitbag.
Yeah.
Anyway, she made a sign. She said that the
So he
Windruff
actually had a town hall?
No,
Okay.
they just protested because it was his holiday. So a couple hundred people stood in front of his office with signs, and the
Got it.
press came.
Okay.
They got press.
Yeah, that's perfect.
She texted me that she had to go home because her sign ripped in half in the wind, but that next time she would make it on poster board.
Oh, well, wait, she made it on paper?
She's never been to a protest, Dan.
Maureen's
She got like a
mom.
big thing, and she wrote, and she was holding it up, and it ripped in the wind.
Yeah, you need
It's her first
poster
protest,
board.
man.
Okay.
She
all
said
right.
she's going to go out because she said it felt good to be with a group of people that she could talk to.
Yeah, that's great.
And she's going to keep going back because she said she's joined like an anti-Trump women's group, and we'll go
Wow.
and do the Yeah. She
Way
says
to
she's
go, your
felt
mom.
better because she's found she's found people she can talk to.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that's what it's all about, Dad. I feel better when I talk to you.
Aw.
See that?
Ma.
Because I've been feeling bad.
Yeah, it's not been good.
And one of the things that made me feel bad, Dan, what gave
Mhm.
Maureen a sash,
Yes.
was something I think you're going to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Well,
here. Yeah, I gave it to you.
we're
Boom.
here, Maureen. So last Friday, prior to the nice walk that I went on, which was really a rage walk, we discussed this on the Town Watch. After a week of thinking that maybe Democrats would actually stand together to block the vote on a continuing budget resolution that would have ceded a bunch of budgetary powers to Trump and Elon Musk, despite calling it a clean continuing resolution, all of this because a real budget bill can't make it through both houses, the Democrats caved. This, of course, was led by your senator, Chuck Schumer.
Don't put this on my
backed
doorstep.
up by my senator, Dick Durbin, as well as 8 other senators. I believe both your senators voted for it, whereas my second senator voted against. That said, there's an interesting little trick when you look at who voted for it. Either they're retiring, like Dick Durbin is almost certainly retiring, or they're not up till 2028. Nobody that is up for re-election in 2026 and is not slated for retirement voted for it. So that's a fun little trick. Anyway, Maureen, we can certainly discuss this more at length if you would like. But I would like to talk about what Chuck Schumer did after.
Okay.
Which was, he did an interview with the New York Times. And in that interview, he talks about a lot of shit, including basically being like, oh, yeah, you know what? It's okay that Trump blocked $400 million worth of funds from Columbia University and does not come out at all in defense of deporting green card holders and shit like that. But this is the part. When I was putting notes together, Maureen, I was getting this kind of very heavy series of things because you know what? We're living in heavy times. Things are difficult. And then I need to go back to our roots here. So I want to talk about this specific moment in this New York Times interview. The interviewer asks, throughout your career, you've talked about this fictional New York couple, the Baileys, and you think of them as sort of your representative voter constituent. You said the Baileys voted for Trump in 2016. They split Trump-Biden in 2020. I'm wondering who they voted for in 2024.
I don't think I'm going to like this.
And Chuck Schumer says, probably voted for Trump. But if you ask them why, I'd think they'd say, above all, crime. Okay, Maureen Johnson.
What's happening?
What's happening?
What is happening, Dan?
Throughout your career, you've talked about this fictional New York couple, the Baileys. You think of them as your representative voter constituent. I think there are a lot of actual non-fictional constituents that you could maybe, I don't know, think of. And then his representative voter constituent voted for Trump most of the time. But I wanted to know more about the Baileys, Maureen.
I am excited.
And that's when I found this New Yorker story from 2007.
Okay. All right.
Now, just to contextualize that, this is the end of the George W. Bush administration. The Democratic primaries would still be happening. Barack Obama would not have been the candidate by now, right? Like, this is how long ago we're talking about. 2007. Title of the story? Imaginary Friends by Jeffrey Goldberg. And you know what? I'm going to read you the whole fucking thing.
Okay, I'm going to sit back. Hold on.
Hunan Dynasty, a few blocks from the capital, is not generally considered to be one of Washington's better Chinese restaurants. which is saying something because Chinese food-wise, Washington is not New York or, for that matter, Philadelphia. I don't really understand what that means. Is Philadelphia particularly well known for its Chinese food?
There's a great Chinatown in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better than New York's?
It's really good.
Okay. All right. I just didn't know that was like a rep of Philly. Anyway. Even its devotees, for example, New York senior Senator Charles Schumer, admit that the restaurant, quote, always has the faint smell of disinfectant. Nor does Hunan Dynasty draw a notably powerful crowd. One night last week, as Schumer sat down for dinner, the only other diners were a group of out-of-town electric company executives and Representative Dennis Kucinich of Ohio, who is running for the Democratic presidential nomination. Quote, I believe I'm going to win New Hampshire, he said, adding, the tofu here is really good. Schumer, on the other hand, is more of a Szechuan shrimp spicy beef sort of federal legislator. This man, by the way, must be getting paid by the word right now.
I mean,
he's like, I've got an amazing anecdote top. We're going to just focus in on the Hunan Dynasty. Schumer, on the other hand, is more of a Szechuan shrimp spicy beef sort of federal legislator. Quote, I love this restaurant, he said, and meant it. Hunan Dynasty, he said, serves cheap, honest, middle-class food, and Schumer styles himself as a cheap and honest member of the middle class. The middle class, in fact, has been the key to his success. Schumer, though widely less known than New York's junior senator, whom he has dragged on occasion to Hunan Dynasty. Oh, because the junior senator at that time was Hillary Clinton. I was like, who the fuck are they talking? Yeah, Hillary Clinton was a senator.
Of course. Right.
I forgot that entirely.
I forgot. Yeah. It was a long time ago.
Whom he has dragged on occasion to Hunan Dynasty. She even hosted a party there for his new book, Positively American. Okay, now I want to just give you the full title of this new book. Again, new as of 2007. It's called Positively American, Winning Back the Middle Class Majority, One Family at a Time. Okay. So Hillary Clinton hosted a party there for his new book, Positively American, has been more instrumental than Hillary Clinton in rejuvenating the Democratic Party. That is, Charles Schumer has been. It is fair to say that only George W. Bush did more than Schumer to help the Democrats retake the Senate last year. As chairman of the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee, Schumer recruited such ostensibly centrist candidates as Claire McCaskill, Jim Webb, John Tester, and Bob Casey, and he raised enormous amounts of cash to fund their campaign. Okay, we're getting there. That was all just lead up. That was all just color.
All right.
Liberal elitism, he said as he stirred sweet and low into his tea with a chopstick, alienates middle-income families from the party. Quote, middle-class people don't think everybody should have to drive a tiny little car to achieve improvement in global warming, he said. Invoking opponents of expanding the tuition tax credit to the middle class, he went on, quote, if we listened to the New York Times editorial board, we'd have 21 votes in the Senate. All right. Then we get into it. Schumer says that he is accompanied everywhere he goes by two imaginary middle-class friends who advise him on all manner of middle-class concerns. Their names were Joe and Eileen O'Reilly.
Oh boy.
Now, Maureen, you might be listening, rapt, and say, wait a second, Dan.
Weren't they the Baileys?
Weren't they the Baileys?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, quote, for the book's sake, we wanted them to be more national, Schumer said. So they became the Baileys.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I went and looked into that.
Okay, great.
This is according to The Hill. There was a rumor at the time. This was written at the time. There was a rumor that the name was changed at the request of the book's publisher because it was, quote, too ethnic.
I just had to I was about to sip coffee and did you just see me just put it down?
You did. You just quick put that cup of coffee down. O'Reilly, a little too ethnic, guys. Schumer's spokesperson told The Hill at the time that wasn't true. Quote, he wanted a name that sounded more national, This is that word again.
What
As
is
opposed to more of a New York name.
that famous New York name?
O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
Just the most New York of New York names.
This man gets us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he gets us.
Back to the New Yorker. For the book's sake, we wanted them to be more national, Schumer said, so they became the Baileys. Now, you might say, okay, that's fine. He uses this little group, these little fake people to say, like, oh, look at that. The middle class voted for Trump in 2020 or whatever. Here's some detail, Maureen. The Baileys live in Massapequa. Is that how you pronounce that? Massapequa?
It's
in
probably
Nassau County.
Okay.
A town that is invariably known on Long Island as Matza Pizza. Sure.
Okay.
The Baileys are 45 years old. Joe works for an insurance company. So let's just do some quick math, actually. If you're 45 in 2007, it's 2025. 2025 minus 2007. It was only 18 years ago. Okay, so that means the Baileys now are 63.
Hold on, I got a fiction rules question.
Yeah.
If you're still writing your characters, you can keep them the same age. And I feel like he's still writing his characters.
He probably is.
So I think these are permanently 45 characters.
Yeah, I think that sounds sensible.
Right.
The Baileys are both 45 years old. Joe works for an insurance company.
Fun.
Eileen is a part-time employee at a doctor's office.
Sure.
They worry about terrorism and about values, and they are patriots. Okay. Here we go. Hang on. Quote, Joe takes off his cap and sings along with the national anthem before the occasional Islanders game. Schumer wrote. So is this whole book? Hold on a second. Is this whole book fan fiction about these people? Holy shit. That didn't occur to me until I reread that sentence out loud.
Oh my God.
Wait, what was the name of this book? Oh my God, now I need to know. Because it's called Winning the Middle Class Majority, one family at a time, right? This is going to all be about the fucking Baileys, isn't it?
Okay, while he's looking, I'm going to work out some of this fan fiction. And you have to realize, in the back of my head, I've been like doing that Winona Ryder thing where she's like, you're looking around, they've put all the numbers around her head. So when you is this fiction or fan fiction? Because I'm going to make a case that it is fan fiction, but it's not like, fan fiction has to be of something. You have to be a fan of something. So I think it's like a fan fiction of just America. Is this just America fan fiction? And I think you could argue that a lot. Okay. The
whole book is about the Baileys.
I gotta go.
Oh my God.
Sorry, guys. I just had to take a second.
This is the book list.
I had to take
review.
a second. I had to take a second.
Schumer, Democratic U.S. Senator from New York, offers a positive message for middle-class Americans just in time for the presidential elections of 2008. The timing will prick readers' curiosity about Schumer's ambitions. Whether he's a candidate or not, his book presents an interesting perspective by an influential member of the party that has recently regained control of Congress. Schumer conjures an imagined composite American family, the Baileys. A family that he says inspires his legislative efforts. Schumer then outlines 11 goals to be achieved in 10 years to improve the lives of the Baileys. Increase reading and math skills by boosting federal spending in school.
I'm going to die.
Reduce illegal immigration and encourage legal immigration by creating a biometric national employment card.
I'm going to die.
Reduce dependency on foreign oil and lower cancer mortality. Interspersed throughout is Schumer's own life story and his involvement in politics as a Harvard undergrad, canvassing for Senator Eugene McCarthy to the triumph of the Democratic leadership in the 2006 elections. Whatever readers may think of Schumer and his policies, he's found an effective way to convey his political positions. He wrote a book of fan fiction. He wrote about a fake family. That used to be called the O'Reillys, but it was too ethnic.
There's a lot going on in my head right now. So, okay, Dan, just stop a second.
Yeah.
First of all, can you just tell me who published this? I just want to know a couple.
Yeah,
I want
sure
to establish
can.
some facts. I want to
right.
to establish some facts because my head feels like it's about to explode.
Published by Rodale Books.
Okay.
Let's figure out who owns Rodale Books.
I'm gonna guess it's Simon & Schuster.
Rodale Books. Okay. Rodale Books is an imprint of Random House.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, that one was just for me. This is concerning. So instead of what you're telling me is that instead of actually dealing with those of us who live here and who, called his office and faxed his office and shoved notes under the door of his office, Chuck Schumer is sitting around with two imaginary friends who are white, conservative, love the American anthem, take their hat off for it.
Yeah.
He has a full-time job. She has a part-time job because she's a little bit less. And they're just worried about crime and immigrants.
Yeah.
What wonderful democratic values. So he has been writing his imaginary people now for about 20 years or more.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption.
And when you get that deep with your fictional characters, they really reside with you. Like he's there, like they're probably there with him in a way that doesn't make me feel great.
Imagine a scenario, Maureen, where you have a fictional couple that you live with for 20 years. And they're always voting against you. And you have invented them to bounce your policy positions off of.
Right.
And you can't convince them for 20 years?
So let's just say you're the person that's created this and you go to your job every day followed by two imaginary people.
Yeah.
No shade. I carry many imaginary people with me. I have a lot of people in this room right now. They're in the room with us.
Yeah.
And you have to vote on a budget that is really horrible and takes rights away from people. And you decide against the will of all the actual biological people that, that are out there breathing and eating stuff who don't want you to do this. You say, we have to do this, or my imaginary friends are going to be mad that the government shut down.
Yeah.
And we say, who gives a fuck? You can't collude with this. Also, what government are you talking about? The one that people are carrying away in boxes as we speak and shoving stuff out the windows? That one? You're worried about it being shut down? That's a big concern of yours right now? And you say, my imaginary friends have told me we can trust this guy if we just play along.
Yeah. Well, let's hear what his imaginary friends were telling him in 2007, Maureen, because this article isn't over. Joe takes off his cap and sings along the national anthem before the occasional Islanders game, Schumer wrote. He elaborated, quote, "They're not ideologues. They're worried about property taxes. It's the tax they hate. And that's what Democrats don't get." He also drafted the Baileys in defending the CIA's human intelligence program. So according to Chuck Schumer, this is like a, couple works in insurance. She's a part-time at a doctor's office. He sings along to the national anthem. They're not ideologues. They hate property taxes, right? These are not particularly involved people, but they do, for some reason, have an opinion in the CIA's human intelligence program.
We all do.
Quote, had Joe and Eileen been in the room after the HumInt screw up, they would not have indulged in the blame game, gutted the human intelligence program, or weakened America. Now, you might say, what is he talking about? Because 2007 was a long time ago. I think that what he's talking about is that in 2006, the ACLU filed a lawsuit. And for the first time, the Bush administration had to admit that they ran a secret torture program since 2001.
Dan,
But
I feel a little
his imaginary friends, they wouldn't have weakened America. The Baileys, Schumer said, sometimes dine out. Not often because of the cost.
Dan, I
want you to guess.
Please don't tell me where they go. Please don't tell me.
I want you to guess what ethnicity of food these imaginary
people
eat
Chinese
like.
food.
Yes, they like Chinese.
Chinese food.
Which raised the question, what would the Baileys eat if they were here at the Hunan dynasty? Quote,
no, it didn't. No.
Yeah, it did.
No.
It did.
Dan,
quote, the more conventional stuff, Schumer said, but they're with it. They're with it?
What?
Yeah, that's exactly
no, shut up.
That's literally the next line. They're with it.
I don't want to talk along to this article. I don't want to.
I mean, they're not with it. Schumer looked at a plate of steamed chicken and vegetables and said they wouldn't order that. They would order Kung Pao chicken. I don't know. You're looking at me like, Dan, explain. Is steamed chicken and vegetables wild? Or is he saying...
I don't like this. This is like you doing improv to me.
It was suggested to Schumer that this was a little bit weird. He acknowledged this to be true. Quote, they're real for me, he said. I love the Baileys.
I need you to stop. This is... I don't like... Okay. All right. Now, this is too close to home. I have workshopped books. I have workshopped characters. I have had to sit there and discuss what fictional people would eat. And I'm going to need to go back to the chicken.
Yes. They're not with it.
They're not with it.
Schumer looked at a plate of steamed chicken and vegetables. They wouldn't order that. They would order Kung Pao chicken.
They want it fried.
Is that what Kung Pao chicken is fried?
Frequently, like the pieces would be, or even tofu or something. It's usually breaded and fried, and it's in a thick, sweet sauce, but it's also spicy.
Right.
It has usually some peanuts in it, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's delicious, but it's a fattier dish than this. So you're saying they want like the fried dish. They want
the fried, like the Americanized, fried chicken.
I mean, it's all delicious, but it's they want the fried. But it is spicier.
They're a little spicy. You know the Baileys sometimes they like to get a little spicy. For instance, as swing voters, Schumer said, quote,
Dan, when you said spicy and said swing, that is voter was not the word that came to my mind.
I mean, I think we can all just assume.
Dan?
We can assume there's unpublished Bailey's work in Schumer's.
He has definitely mapped that out.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Anyway,
Nope.
quote,
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I would
the
say,
Baileys.
what's the guy's name? Joe?
Joe?
Joe, is
Oh,
it?
the Bailey. Yeah, it's Joe and Eileen.
Okay. Joe's into feet. I'm 100% certain
Oh,
he's a
yeah,
foot
yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
He is on WikiFeet a lot.
Yeah,
If you want to know who's rating feet on WikiFeet, it's Joe.
it's Joe Bailey.
He's just had some.
Formerly Joe O'Reilly.
It was a little too ethnic.
It was.
I'm going to barf out the window. But okay, so
Do you
he's
think
just
that the ethnic part, do you think that came in because the original draft, it was like, hey, top of the morning to you, Eileen. Hey, Aaron, go Brock, Joe. And then they were like, we got to tone this down. And he's like, but they're named the O'Reillys. They were like,
Do
how
you
about
wanna
the Baileys?
hey, I just made soda bread. Do you want some?
Anyway.
He's into Dan. That dude loves
Yeah.
feet. I'm just telling you.
I think that we can line this up with this next fact. The Baileys were very anti-Hillary when she ran in 2000, but they voted for her in 2006. He went on. Here we go, Maureen. This is the Says Who Bailey's crossover everyone's been waiting for. He went on, quote, they like Rudy. It depends on how he plays it. If Rudy continues to adhere to the right-wing Republican line, just cutting taxes for the wealthy, he won't get their vote. Because let's remember, Rudy Giuliani ran for president in 2007.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
Against, was it Mitt? Who's 2008?
Was Mitt? I don't think Mitt was. It was John McCain. John McCain, right?
Ms. John McCain. That was
and
Palin.
McCain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Palin.
It turns out this is Maureen. Let me just paint a picture of where fantasy becomes reality.
I just need to take a breath.
It turns out, Schumer said, as he ate an almond cookie, that there are some actual Baileys in Massapequa. And he once met a couple of them. Mrs. Bailey was a kind woman. I bet she was. A very nice lady. But the actual Mr. Bailey was a Republican. Even worse, Schumer said, he had a goatee. Quote, Joe Bailey would never have a goatee.
Don't sit there with a smug smile on your face. You know what you've done.
The best thing is I didn't totally know what I had done because I found this article like 5 minutes before we recorded. And so I didn't read the whole thing.
Dan, am I going to have to read this book?
No.
I think maybe
you have work to do.
Just to read the crazy ass story of the Baileys and know what is driving my senator. These weird sims he's made. I need to know about them. Because apparently that's who's in charge.
These weird sims he's invented that he desperately wants to win over, but can't. So he's constantly shifting his own personal Overton window to the right in the hopes that one day the Baileys will be like, all right, Chuck, you're right. You've got us now. We're
now
in.
Now show us your feet. Show us your feet, Chuck. Come on over. Finally, we can have that threesome you've been fantasizing about for so long.
Chuck shows
Joe, and
up.
Eileen.
They're both drinking big steins of green beer.
Look, Dan.
He's like, no, you're the Baileys now.
You know why they're the Baileys?
Because of
Irish cream.
What's that?
Irish cream.
I hope so, but isn't one of the famous Frank Capra people Baileys and George Bailey? That's It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Maybe.
I think so. George Bailey. Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. Played by Jimmy Stewart.
I don't like how much sense this makes in terms of his decision making.
Oh, yeah.
As he did just give this interview in the present day, that's just, he's like, don't worry. They seem a little weird now, but these fucking people will come around.
Yeah. Yeah, they voted for Trump this time because of crime. That was their whole thing. If we could fix that, I can get the Baileys next time.
My head is spinning. I don't.
Speaking of, he does have another book coming out. And I will tell you, in the immortal words of Justin Timberlake, this is going to ruin the tour. Because he had to cancel his book tour.
Listen, Dan, I just want to say, as a person who has had 2 book tours since COVID, both of which were derailed by COVID.
Yeah.
One, I got COVID on the tour, and the second, I got COVID 3 days before the tour.
Yep.
His book tour mojo is worse than mine because you see, I had to cancel or reschedule mine because of illness twice. And he had to cancel it because he hosed the United States.
Yeah.
And would be chased out of any venue that he went into.
Yeah.
By people with brooms.
Oh, yeah.
And the very booksellers that had to host the event would be quietly cursing under their breath and gritting their teeth the entire time, forced to do this. And shout out to the poor doomed publicist that had to put this shit show together.
The publicist was like just so psyched because, like, what's got to be easier than booking a, like, you know, major senator book tour? Like, that's just, you're just on a glide path from jump. And then the publicist opens their email Friday afternoon. They're ready for a weekend.
He did what? What did he do? So that whole tour has been picked up and thrown in the goddamn trash.
I wonder what the Baileys think of that.
What is the book called again?
The new book is I didn't actually put it in. It is Chuck.
And do not buy that. We will not be promoting this book on.
It is called Anti-Semitism in America, a Warning. Okay. By Charles Schumer. I don't think the Baileys are in this one.
I don't know, Dan. I think the Baileys are.
I mean, I think the Baileys are probably anti-Semitic. Just going to go out on a limb there.
Yeah.
Just going to go out on a limb and say, formerly Irish living on Long Island. Changed your name because it was too ethnic. I'm going to go with they are anti-Semitic. Just a little bit. I'm going to say they're a little bit anti-Semitic.
But again, Dan, he just wants them to love him.
Right, and they hate him.
Don't make characters who hate you. I mean, come on.
They've hated him for so long.
Imagine you're running this fanfic in your head, and all you can come up with is people that don't like you, and you're always chasing unrequited love.
Yeah.
You'll never catch it. That deer runs too fast, Chuck.
Oh.
They're never going to leave their wife or husband for you, Chuck. They're never going to get a divorce.
I mean, I don't know that he wants that. I think he's looking for a throuple situation.
Hey, I heard something earlier about feet. I'm interested.
They're imaginary feet.
I'm okay with that. I want to know these freaks. Tell me about them. Give me their address.
They live in
Massapequa?
Yeah, Massapequa, Long Island.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Come on, Eileen. Yeah.
Oh, no. Says who?
That's right.
Is made possible by.
Come on, Eileen.
God damn.
To the right. Hey, look at those feet. Why don't you come over here, Joe boy? Take off your hat and try on a shoe. You fool. Da, da, da. Ooh. Feet fucking. Listen, I'll tell you what, though. If he writes a dragon into this book and they start fucking a dragon, he's going to have $1 billion on his hands.
Chuck should retire
and write dragon fucking fanfic.
He's got a few good years left in him, and just fucking let it out, man.
Here's the plot.
Let the Baileys fuck that dragon.
These people in Massapequa, they think they're living the best life. Then all of a sudden, who comes rolling up the bay but a goddamn dragon? They swim in this. And he comes into town and they have to hide their dragon. Sort of like Sigmund the Sea Monster, where the kids find the sea monster on the beach and then try to hide it in their house. So they make friends with the dragon, but they know that the people, the town, would kill the dragon if they found out. So they have to hide the dragon in their house.
Yeah.
But they're conservative, but they realize they love this dragon.
Yeah.
And the dragon's name is Chuck. And so Chuck the dragon, Chuck the magic dragon lives with the Baileys. And then they get really into the dragon. Like the more and more they realize they're in love with the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And they protect, and the dragon can't leave the house.
Right.
So it's sort of like 50 Shades of Dragon. I don't know, but it's got a lot of stuff going for it.
I think he's got it made.
This man he's just in the wrong profession.
Yeah. I think he could have just an incredible last few years of his life.
I feel like I'm in safe hands.
Says Who is made possible by you through your support of our Patreon at patreon.com/sayswho. That's our Patreon, where pretty much every Sunday you get this all over again, minus the dragon fucking, usually at least, because we do a little thing we call the Town Watch, which is available if you give it the $5 or $10 a month level. $10 a month level also gets you a sticker in the mail. That's over at patreon.com/sayswho. Our theme mucus. Our theme mucus was performed by Ted Leo. Our logo was designed by Darth. You can contact us at SaysWhovPodcast.com on Blue Sky, at SaysWho at omfg.town on Mastodon, or you can always email it, hey, that's HEY at SaysWhoPodcast.com. You can join the discussion on Facebook at /group/SaysWhovians. Our Facebook group is moderated by Janice Dillard. Thank you, Janice. There's also the fan-run Discord server at tinyurl.com/SaysWho. Discord, whatever you do, spread the word. Subscribe, leave stars and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever it is that you listen. And you can join us next Wednesday, March 26th. I don't like that it's the end of March next week. Not into that. For our very next episode, and from my basement in Chicago, I am Dan Sinker.
And from Massapequa, New York, I'm Maureen Johnson.
And this has been Says Who.
Yeah! Freaks, 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 freaks.